One of the things that I'm frequently asked about is how do you actually make the videos that you do? Like, what's the whole process that goes behind making up the whole thing? So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm making a video right now on the Skripal case. So what I'm going to do is record myself doing it and show you the exact entire process that goes through in this case. So right now, as you can see, I am at the news desk right now. There is, off to the side, there's the black curtain. There's the green that I use for the chroma key sometimes, and there's my other side. The light on this side is actually on a pile of Tokyo Ghoul mangas. So that's an interesting thing about that one. Now this light here is on top of a traditional tripod. It has, basically, the plug and all that stuff for it, and those are my airsoft guns in the background. They're not real guns. Please, police, don't kill me. Okay, what you're looking at right now is my camera, my actual setup. I'm still here, but this is letting you know exactly what it is that I'm looking at when I do record the actual video. That's my setup, just some junk there. And that's my camera all ready to go. Now, this monitor that's on top of the camera is actually connected to the computer as a secondary monitor. Now, you can't see it in this video, but what's on the screen are the notes that I take for the video. It contains the specific points that I want to hit. They contain any of the script for any voiceovers that I do. For example, when you hear my voiceover images or video, etc., and that intro at the beginning. And that's connected to my PC. And I am able to change it with this. Essentially, it is a Bluetooth remote. What I can do is I can flip through the pages and change them on the fly with it right in my hand, which is connected to a wireless USB dongle, which is inside of my actual PC. Although nobody seems to have noticed that I have this in my hand during the time. Well, if you ever have noticed, that's why it's there. So let me get down to actually recording, and then I'll get back to you. Now, there's one other thing I wanted to say before I get to the editing process, and that's this. This is a traditional clapper that's used by many production companies. Essentially, what I use this for is I set it up so that I can focus the camera, because this is a Sony Lumix, and the autofocus on Sony cameras is absolute garbage. So I use this to manually focus ahead of time, and I also use it to sync the audio and the video. Essentially the exact same thing that a lot of production companies do, because I record the audio and the video track separately. The video gets recorded in 4K onto the camera, and the audio goes straight into the computer through the program Audacity, which I highly recommend. So give me a minute and I'll get to the editing process. Now what I'm going to do is show you the process of editing. Now this part, the lower third that pops up at the beginning and the animation behind it are put out every time in the same spot, so I don't really have to move it. And there's the title screen, etc. The first thing I do is I import the audio that I got from Audacity, and I increase the volume by 6 decibels because the microphone records a little bit quiet. Now I have the actual footage, and I'm going to place that over top. What I'm going to do is eliminate the audio from the camera and just release it the same as with. Okay. Now we're going to sync up the audio and the video. Okay, there's the exact moment that the clapper hits. So what I'm going to do is zoom right in, expand, and move that over to where the clap takes place. Now I can't get it exact on, but it's off by like a fraction of a second. It's indistinguishable, so it doesn't really matter. So now, having corrected the audio, I now link the two together so that I don't accidentally move them out of sync. Okay, so here I've gotten to the part where I begin recording the video itself. I get rid of the clapper, I put the glasses back on, throw away the phone, wipe the sweat off my forehead because I'm fat, adjust glasses, pick up remote. The UK has announced that they will be... Now that I can see right here exactly how I'm going to relatively fit within the camera, I can shrink the image down. Now I record in 4K, but I upload in 1080. What this allows me to do is to be able to make these kinds of edits, be able to move the camera where I need it, to crop out certain things, to recenter it without any loss of quality, because it's recorded in 4K but reduced down to 1080. So I can just change this on a whim, and in order to get it exactly to where I want. And now I will begin the editing process. The UK has announced that they will be charging 2 alleged Russian intelligence agents for the Novichok poisoning of Sergei and Yulia Skripal. The 2 Russians were charged in absentia on Wednesday. It is alleged that the 2 men were acting on orders from higher up in the Russian government. So there you go. There's the introduction. There's basically the meat of the story, the general summary that comes at the beginning. Now I'm going to move that to this area right at the beginning. Now, what I generally do is this kind of, I'm not even sure, aside from it being the background for the lower third with the B footage behind it, I'm not exactly certain the exact names for these because I didn't go to journalism school or anything. So what I do is add an additional 2 seconds to the end of it. I don't know why. I saw Press TV do it, so I do it too. Then obviously I go in and I edit the name. Now this is the script for the video. This one is very word heavy because I wanted to have a very exact wording for a different thing for different points that I wanted to make. Stuff that would not have been accurate if I had done it off the top of my head. So I'm going to copy the title. And then I'm going to shrink it down until it fits. Now, I don't like having them that long because it doesn't look that great, but, you know, it's going to be what it's going to be. Now, next I need to get the footage of the Skripal poisoning for this introduction. Now, here's one of the things I do to cheat. Since, obviously, I don't have access to, you know, a mainstream media outlet that has all the footage that I would need for absolutely everything, I essentially gank it from wherever I can. For example, RT is great for this kind of footage. For example, I can take this whole thing from the Skripal poisoning case, you know, right up to about there. Shrink it down to fit that part. Then I go in here and I manually edit everything to make sure it fits. Well, as you can see, there's just a little bit on the bottom there. There. So now I've got the necessary stock footage for the introduction to the Skripal poisoning case. Now I'm going to go back to editing the actual video itself. 1. British police have released the images of the 2 men claiming that they traveled together to the UK in March with a nerve agent smuggled in a counterfeit perfume bottle. The men are said to have been traveling under Russian passports. Now, Prime Minister Theresa May declared that the 2 men were part of the GNU, Russia's military intelligence service. So there you go. There's the A footage, me speaking, and then I'll add in the lower third with my name and whatnot on it, and then the watermark in the corner. See, now it begins the process of doing voiceovers, so it's going to look a bit differently. Police have released the images of the 2 men claiming that they were on a 3-day mission from Moscow to London to Salisbury, where they allegedly attacked the Skripals. The UK claims that the 2 men were caught on camera in the area where the alleged attack took place. Okay, so that's the voiceover footage. Now, what exactly was I going to use for that? The image of the agents. Now, I have those saved from earlier. And then all I do is just pop them in. Zoom that up, and that part's done. Now that's easy because it's just a one simple thing. There's no putting text over video or anything like that. 1. However, everyone is not buying the official story from the UK. Political commentators and journalists have noted inconsistencies in the evidence presented by the UK government. So at this point, you get the general idea of the difference between me speaking on camera and there being some kind of voiceover footage or voiceover video kind of thing. So I'll skip to the end. So now I've reached the point where I've done editing the entire video. I've thrown everything in, put the proper voiceover for things and the proper footage in the proper place, describing the different elements that take place. So now it comes time to just finish up the video. There is the Patreon closing and the watermark that's used in this situation, and then the ending title card, which big up to YouTube for actually creating that, because it really did help me out a lot and a lot of other people. Okay, now we go to exporting the actual file. Now, normally I would have them do a batch thing through Adobe Video something. It's a program that allows you to do it in batch. The name escapes me at the moment. Allows you to render a whole bunch of videos all at the same time. But since I'm only doing one, I'm only going to use Adobe, the one built into Adobe Premiere Pro. So this is the folder that I have all the video files in for the month. And then I hit export and we're on the way. Now I'm not going to show myself exporting it because I've got the screen recording going, and that was slowed down the actual process of exporting the video. So I'm just going to stop it right there. So in case you guys have ever really wondered exactly how I make the videos, this is how I do it. And you see, it's not a complicated process. It can be very time consuming. For example, it was 10 after 5 when I began. It is now 6:07. So I've spent a fair amount of time just doing this one video. But keep in mind that I've also spent time recording this video as well. So that kind of explains that, but that gives you an idea of about how long it takes me to do these videos. So maybe you could use this to start doing some of your own videos. I mean, I do so. I mean, we need, definitely we do need more content, like actual real content, not meme videos. So if this has inspired you to do so, by all means do so, because we could always definitely use more content.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.